In the previous session, we were discussing about energy chapter. So we are going to continue the same. In the energy, we discussed about calorie and how energy content of a food is calculated by bomb calorimeter. Now we are going to discuss about calorific value. So calorific value is the energy content of the food that we are taking. The calorific value of food is defined as amount of energy released when 1 gram of nutrients such as carbohydrate, lipids or protein are mixed is oxidized in the body, and this calorific value is expressed in the kilocalories. In the previous class we are discussing about um, the bomb calorimeter where the food is oxidized and the amount of energy released in the form of heat is calculated. That gives you the calorific value. Similarly, the food we are eating by mouth and the oxygen is taken by nose respiration, and the food and the oxygen taken by respiration, they are going to get oxidized and that will produce energy. So the calorific value of carbohydrate or energy content of carbohydrate is 4 kilocalories per gram. That means 1 gram of carbohydrate gives 4 kilocalories. Similarly, fat gives 1 gram 9 kilocalories and protein gives 4 kilocalories. So this is the energy content of the uh, various nutrients. So this is calculated by using bomb calorimeter. Similarly, you can estimate the calorific value of mixed nutrients also. So the significance of calorific value is it helps in the calculating the amount of nutrients required in the preparation of balanced diet. So a particular person, according to his various conditions, age, sex, and physical activities, the amount of energy required per day differs. So based on the energy requirement, we have to calculate the food intake to meet the required energy of a person. So that this calorific value will helps in these conditions. So next is the respiratory quotient. The respiratory quotient is designated as RQ. It is defined as the amount of ratio or volume of ratio of carbon dioxide produced to the volume of oxygen consumed. So you can see the equation RQ is equal to volume of CO2 produced by volume of O2 consumed. So if you put the oxygen and carbon dioxide values and you will get the RQ values. So here is a depiction. Here RQ of a carbohydrate. If a carbohydrate undergoes completely oxidized, it gives 6 carbon dioxide by utilizing 6 oxygen molecules. So you can see C6H12O6 plus 6O2 gives 6H2O plus 6CO2. In this equation, please see only before arrow mark. You just observe the oxygen, how much is there, and after the arrow mark, how much carbon dioxide is there. So you see O2 and CO2s. So RQ of carbohydrate is equal to how much CO2? 6. So how many oxygen? 6. So 6 by 6 is 1. So the RQ is equal to 1. So this is about RQ of a carbohydrate. Whereas RQ of a fatty acids, you can see fats are having a relatively low RQ, respiratory quotient, because they have low oxygen content, hence require more oxygen for oxidation. So carbohydrate contains sufficient oxygen, whereas fat contains less oxygen. So we have to take extra oxygen through respiration, that is going to utilize for oxidation. In this the equation, if you 6 CO2 means oxygen consumed will be 8 or 10, so that means more oxygen is consumed. So here you can see the value, RQ value of fat is 0.7, whereas for RQ of protein is also very near to fatty acids 0.8, whereas if you mix a diet carbohydrate proteins fat mixed diet, RQ is equal to 0.8. So whenever you take oily food, you feel sleeping because you go for yawning, and oxygen consumption will be more, so that to oxidize the food. So carbohydrates are not like that, whereas fats will induce more oxygen intake. Significance of RQ. RQ is indicator of a metabolic status. It helps in understanding the type of food consumed at any given time. and RQ in diabetic is 0.7. So what it indicates means if you eat any food in the morning or any time, and without asking you, if we check the RQ values of your body, and we can easily guess what type of food you have taken. So if you have taken oily food, if RQ is equal to less than say 1, that means we can say we can guess that you have taken some oily or protein food. If the RQ is equal to 1, we can say that you have taken carbohydrate food. So it also helps in the understanding the type of food. That's what explained. And RQ of diabetic is 0.7 because in diabetics people diabetic patients will utilize more fat because they cannot utilize glucose. Hence, their RQ value is equal to 0.7. So this even though you take carbohydrate, and if the RQ value is equal less than 1, that indicates the person is having a diabetic condition. So next is containing energy requirement of a person. So the energy requirement of a person differs from person to person according to various factors. May its energy of a requirement of a elephant is more different, and cow is different, because you can see, even though both are animals, one of elephant size is bigger and cow size is smaller. The elephant eat more food compared to cow. So there are so many things, like not only just the skin, uh, how much surface is there, or along with that, so many things are involved for energy requirement of a person, where it differs according to age, sex, physical activity, health conditions, etc. So mainly depends on a person energy requirement. There should be a balance between energy expenditure and energy intake of a normal person to maintain health. So if you going to uh, use 2500 kilocalories energy, the same amount of energy at least you have to take to maintain the energy balance. If your energy requirement is 2500, and if you take a food for only 2000 kilocalories, then you are short of 500 kilocalories. That will make you lean, weak. Or if you are taken 3000 kilocalories, if your body requirement is 2500, you have taken extra 500. That leads to body buildup. So you can build up the body because extra calories is added. So that's what in you can see some people are calorie conscious. Calorie conscious makes you whether how to make your body fit. So by calculating the amount of calorific food taken in a day. So energy is expended by an individual mainly for three process. So we require energy for mainly three important process. One is basal metabolic rate. Basal metabolic rate means even though you don't do any work, physical activity, your physical rest, and also you're not thinking, that means mental rest, like in sleeping. You are mentally having some rest, and physically you are having minimum energy requirement only for digestion, absorption, heartbeat, respiration, all this process. So minimum amount of energy required for a person is called as basal metabolic rate. When the person is in awake condition, he should be awake and also in physical rest and mental rest. He should not be doing any work, and also the person should be free from stress and other mental conditions. So next one is thermogenic effect. Our body should maintain the normal body temperature. So hence the food, certain amount of food is utilized for production of heat, that is called as thermogenic effect or specific dynamic action of food. And third one is called as energy is required for physical activity. This is for voluntary physical activities that we are going to perform, for that energy is required. So this is about energy requirement of a person. So we are going to discuss one by one. So beginning it was the basal metabolic rate. So let us start with basal metabolic rate. It is defined as the minimum amount of energy required by the person when he is in complete physical and mental rest, and in the post-absorptive state. That means he or she should have last meal 12 hours before, and then the person should be in complete physical and mental rest and in a awakened conditions. So then only, if you in that condition, if you calculate the energy requirement by using certain apparatus, that is called as basal metabolic rate. The requirement of BMR is a minimum, basic minimum amount of energy required for the carry out basal vital function of the body such as respiration, heartbeat, circulation, renal function, brain function, conduction of nerve impulse, and transport across membranes. All these are involuntary functions, and all these require certain amount of energy. Combined all these functions, so energy requirement is called as BMR, basic metabolic rate. So measurement of BMR, as I told you, the person's energy requirement can be calculated. That is, BMR can be calculated, and the instrument used is Benedict Roth apparatus. Using this apparatus, we can calculate the basal metabolic rate of a person. So this is a very important topic because most of the question will come regarding the definition of BMR and factors affecting BMR. Now we are going to discuss the factors affecting BMR. The energy requirement of a child, toddler, infant, young adult, old adult, or old age person is different, and also the body size big person and also lean big person energy requirement is different. Males and females energy requirement is different. BMR is different. So let us see like that how many factors are there. So first one is surface area. BMR is directly proportional to surface area. Higher the surface area, higher the BMR. So elephant will eat more food compared to cow because it is surface area is more. Similarly, in human beings, if two human beings maybe of same age and same sex, if the one of the person is huge in size compared to other, then he requires more BMR to maintain the temperature of all the body surface area because he is larger in size, so he requires more energy for heat production. So hence he requires more uh, uh, energy. So hence its BMR is more. Next one is age. Age infants are having more BMR compared to the young children. So children's infants will drink not three times like adults will eat three times. Children's whenever they want milk or food, it will cry. So they usually in home we are going to give children occasionally for every 2 hours or 3 hours something we are going to give them for eating. So because their energy requirement is more because they are in the stage of growth, and compared to adults energy requirement compared to infants will eat adults three times in a day. Children's whenever they want they cry and get the food, so that's the indication. So they are having more BMR. So less than 2 years children are more having more BMR. Sex females are having less BMR compared to males. Males are having more BMR. So males will eat more compared to females because their BMR is more. So um, most muscular activity in males, hence the BMR is more. The climate. So colder climate, people will eat more food, and also because they are in cold condition to maintain the body temperature, they require more food, more energy. Hence their BMR is more compared to warm climates. And also starvation. BMR increases during starvation. Whenever you don't eat food, your energy requirement will be more. And exercise. Whenever exercise is performed, the energy is lost in the physical activity. Hence, the BMR is also more. Compare in the fever. Whenever a fever is there, the BMR increases. Hence, to cope up with the BMR during fever, you should give extra energy or calories. And hormone. Uh, Thyroxine increases BMR, so BMR increases in hypertension, hyperthyroidism and hypothyroidism. So whenever thyroid hormones are produced in more quantity or less quantity, there it is going to affect the BMR levels. And like this, all these factors are very important in um influencing the basal metabolic rate. And the significance of this BMR is helping in calculating the energy and planning a balanced diet. So if you make a list of a person's height, weight, and age, sex, and then physical activity, whether vegetarian, non-vegetarian, all these conditions are also affecting the BMR. So vegetarians are having less BMR. It is not mentioned compared to non-vegetarians. So you can calculate this for giving treatment during um, nutritional therapy in a hospital. So this is a very important topic. One should know and one should implement during the treatment of the patient. We will continue in the next session.